Well, hello there everybody. Today we will be discussing the Grafton Monster. It was first sighted in 1965 in Grafton, West Virginia. Now, Grafton was formerly a pretty big railroad town, but today it seems somewhat of an anomaly. A village of big city architect locked in a territory of small farms and dense woodlands. Now, in its heyday, Grafton was a wealthy mining center, and one of its biggest claims to fame is the founding of Mother's Day there in 1908. Though these woodland prowls a monster, some say a monster with a sea-like skin was reported there in 1965, and it was called locally the Grafton Monster. June the 16th, 1965. From what I've gathered, it says that it was a young reporter. It gives you a very in-depth description about him in his mid-20s, and so and such from there. His name was Robert Cockrell, an interesting last name. But it says he was heading home from his evening shift at the Grafton Sentinel newspaper. He was driving along the Riverside Drive, which follows the Tygart River. Cockrell knew the road pretty well, and it said that he apparently was going 50 miles per hour. But as he rounded a wide curve and he entered a straight section of a road for about a mile long, his headlights caught something that he knew immediately was out of place. It appeared to be a huge white obstruction on the right side of the road, standing between the road and the riverbank of a cleared-off section of grass. Now, almost as soon as he saw it, he concluded that it was not an object but a living beast, the likes of which he had never seen before. Now, he claimed that it stands, 9 feet tall and was about 4 feet wide. It was stark white, as he said, with a sleek, seal-like skin, or a covering that resembled seal skin, and it had no head. But mind you though, he's going 50 miles per hour apparently, and he just caught a glimpse of this thing. Now, after he got home and calmed down, he decided to return to the scene to investigate, though he recruited some of his friends to accompany him to the location. But when they arrived at the spot, the thing was gone. Now, they searched up and down the riverbank, but they found nothing at all. They found no tracks, although the grass where Cockrell seen the monster was pretty mashed down by something heavy. But now, while they searched, they claimed to have heard an odd, low whistling sound coming from the direction of the river. Now, the whistling sound seemed to be following them, but they could not see anything else making the noise. Now, the aftermath of what happened on June 16th was, of course, Cockrell went back to work, and he informed the editor of what he had seen. Now, it was a small story. It was published on June 18th. And of course, words of the sighting got out around Grafton, and there was about hundreds of teenagers and adults armed with flashlights and others type things to protect themselves on the hunt for the Headless Monster. About more than 20 searchers there say that they saw it, including a nearby stone quarry. Of course, they were questioned by Cockrell himself, and their description apparently matched his as well. But one of the youth apparently had said maybe it is an escaped polar bear, but there is no explanation of how a polar bear could have got down to Grafton, West Virginia. But now, apparently, the state, the county, and local police, they done their searches as well, and they could find nothing whatsoever. And then the newspaper tried to play the incident down just as maybe, where he was going too fast. He just, maybe seen something else. It could have been like a big rock, or who knows what it could have been. But now, since that happened, so many people was, plugging up the Riverdale Drive Road. People just pulling off, hoping to catch a glimpse of this monster. Now, no one had really had a significant sighting other than, Cockrell himself. But apparently, there was an article published in June 19th called The Grafton Sentinel. They dismissed the creature completely as just a wildly imagined story inspired by spring fever and a lack of recreational facilities. So they were saying that Cockrell was just trying to, make something up to try to bring attention to the town. But now, the monster hunting eventually died down, except for Cockrell himself, who just kept going on and on and on about it. And apparently there was even sightings from all over from Tygart River, all the way up to Morgantown in advance of the sightings and everything, but still nothing ever happened. But now he eventually contacted Ray Barker, who was known for writing his UFO novels or the sightings and things like that. And he was hoping, to help, to have Gray help him in his findings. Though Gray wrote up a draft article, it was never published. He saved the letters, the notes, newspaper clippings, and all that stuff like that was put into Gray's collection in West Virginia. But now in 1995, while digging into the Gray Barker collection, researcher Mark A. Hall discovered the unpublished details. And then pretty much what it was, the whole interview was Cockrell was just going in, was telling Gray about how he knew the road very well and just things like that. And then the creature, you know, for as big as it was, somehow he was able to, you know, distinguish that it had, you know, the seal skin, how tall it was. But now the weird thing was, is it had no head when he had drove by, so I guess he was trying to say that the monster didn't look at him or acknowledge he was even there. Some say though that the Grafton monster is headless. Others think it might have been mistaken for headless though, but its actual head was just tucked into its chest somehow. Now when the creature was featured on one of them bizarre TV shows called Mountain Monsters in 2014, I watched the episode just because I was curious about it. Now, you know, it showed, you know, hazy images of the creature during an instance that spooked the cattle that seemingly depicted a very tall creature moving through the tree line, which, you know, them type of shows are meant for entertainment, so you never know what they really saw. But now, despite the two short, you know, 1965 newspaper articles on this subject, and just been really highly censored to try to, you know, shut it down, the legend of the Grafton Monster has somewhat endured a part of the monster lore of West Virginia, because it's still going on. It was featured in the Fallout 76 game, but that was just, you know, giving you a description and everything of the very few sightings of the Grafton Monster. Is it real? I don't know myself, because I'm originally from West Virginia, and I never heard of Grafton until pretty much Fallout 76 came out. But I don't know, you know, things like this, it's pretty cool that you don't know if they're real at all, because I've always wondered about certain stuff like that, like trying to believe in aliens and, you know, things like that. But if there's anything y'all like me to cover, just let me know. I plan on doing a whole lot more of these folklore monsters because they're interesting. But thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, tell me what you think of the Grafton Monster yourself, and I will see you later.